On to the top 3 stars upcoming here in the next few weeks. They're going to be running through the lineup of who's going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame this year. So we thought we would give our thoughts on who should be inducted or that has not been yet. The top 3 people, stars or whatever, that should be inducted. Apparently, Stu Hart's going to be inducted this year, which is very well deserved.
Yeah.
With all that he's done in wrestling. And I will turn it over to Paul and let him give you his 3 picks for who should be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Just want to point out also, we both picked 3 different people, but really all 6 of them, well, technically not 6, but we'll get to that. But all 6 of our choices really deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm going to start off, since we have Brett back in WWE and they're doing a storyline with him, and they already announced that Stu Hart was going to be in the Hall of Fame. Why not finally put in Owen? And, you know, I mean, no, he's never had the world title. He's had the tag belt. He's had success, tag belts, Intercontinental, right. European.
Right.
It just hasn't had the world belt. But anyway, yeah, and of course he died under those circumstances early on, or early in his life. But I think now's as good a time as any is to put in Owen. Aside from that, he's had some of the best matches in WWE. You could go on and see the many matches he's had with Brett were really good. He had a really good match with British Bulldog for the European title. I think the very first match for the European title. He's been some of the, some really memorable tag teams. I mean, he's had really good matches. And also he had matches with like Chris Benoit and early when Benoit was trying out for them. And so he'd be my first choice. My second choice, I think, would be a no-brainer. Why, in the name of all that is holy, is Macho Man not in the Hall of Fame?
Politics. Which
is probably politics. As far as I understand, he still has heat between he and Vince. But that guy is one of the legends of wrestling. He's not even in Legends of WrestleMania. But yet he's had the title a few times. He's had matches with Flair. He's had matches with Warrior. He's had matches with Hogan. Why is this guy not in the Hall of Fame? And the third one, which really surprises me as well, although he's not had any major titles, is Jake the Snake. And he's had incredible matches too, and he's also one of the greatest minds in the wrestling business. He's feuded with Hogan and Undertaker. That's another guy that really should be in the Hall of Fame, and I don't see why he's not. And that maybe, I don't know, maybe it has to do with heat too, I don't know. But those are my 3, and Jeff's going to give his 3.
First one I want to start out with is $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. It was mentioned a few months ago on Raw when he was a guest host. I definitely think he's still, to me, the best heel that ever walked the face of the earth. He was definitely the best heel of all time in the WWE. And he would not, Paul mentioned Owen Hart. He worked a match with Owen Hart at SummerSlam in the early 90s.
That's right, yeah.
And gave Owen Hart plenty to do. He did not say, well, I'm the top heel in the company, so, he didn't have an ego in the ring.
No.
He wanted to push other guys. He let other guys do their moves. He didn't, squash anybody. He worked with other people very well. I mean, he's right up there with Undertaker as far as being respected in the ring. The other 2 choices I had were both tag teams. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a big tag team fan. Legion of Doom should be in the Hall of Fame.
And why they are not by now is beyond me.
I thought they should have went in WrestleMania 22 when they did the WrestleMania in Chicago.
Yep.
Because that's where Legion of Doom are from. I thought that was a great time to put Legion of Doom in the Hall of Fame. I thought they would be put in the Hall of Fame. Why the most dominant and successful tag team of all time is not in the Hall of Fame, I have no idea. That's just ridiculous to me. I don't think there's any heat between Animal and Vince, or, I know Animal didn't leave on the best of terms whenever he was in WWE a few years ago, but still, I mean, there's nothing that should keep him out of the Hall of Fame. And that's another commentary. Why are you bringing politics into a Hall of Fame anyway? Other sports don't do it. Other entertainment aspects don't do it. If you're good enough, you're good enough. That's all there should be to it. If you're good enough, you should be in the Hall of Fame. There should be no politics. There shouldn't be any backstabbing crap. I don't get along with that guy, so he'll never be in the Hall of Fame. That's crap.
Yeah.
If they're good enough, put them in. Who cares? The fans don't care. We don't care about your backstage crap. And my third choice would be Demolition. Longest reigning tag team champions in the history of WWE.
And they still are.
And they still are. Still have the longest reign and probably will for till the end of time.
Probably.
With the way tag teams switch hands nowadays and the way shows are run weekly and so forth and so on. I think they should be in the Hall of Fame. I know there's probably some politics involved there. I think Vince and Axe don't get along all that great, but who cares? They deserve it. They worked hard. I mean, and they weren't afraid to help other teams get over.
Very true. Very true.
And that's my three choices. $1 Million Man, LOD, Demolition, they should all be in the Hall of Fame. I'm betting at least one of each of our picks get in the Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah.
I would probably bet Jake the Snake and $1 Million Man would get in this year. And that brings us to our Royal Rumble picks for this year, for 2010. I'll let Paul give his first pick.
We kind of kept this part of it a secret, but we had ideas of who we thought would win the Royal Rumble. Two of my choices, but not the number one choice. I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to take a risk. Two of my choices were Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho. And they were going to be my number one. But lately, with the possibility of Edge coming back, I think it was rumored that he was going to be booked at a house show. That's just a rumor, of course. But at the same time, I can't help but feel that WWE is going to pull a surprise on us. And they did with Cena. When Cena was injured, he came back and won the Rumble. So maybe it's too predictable. Maybe it's too cheesy. But I think possibility Edge might win the Rumble. And but my other two choices would be Chris and Shawn. And before I go any further, I'll turn that over to Jeff.
I'm with him on the Edge thing. I totally think that there's a good chance that Edge is going to come out and surprise us. I think there's only, last count I had, there's only 28 books, or 28 names in the Rumble right now. So I think there's a really good chance of Edge being added.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I'm going to go with Jericho. I would say Shawn Michaels. I know a few people I've talked to have said Shawn Michaels. But to me, that's just too easy. That's way too ezy for the WWE to do and then put him up with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think there's going to be another route that they're going to do with that. Have Shawn get shafted out of his victory or something and do some other way, cost Undertaker the title, and then Undertaker will want revenge and face him at WrestleMania with no title involved. To me, that's, Shawn winning a Rumble is just too easy. So I'm going to go with Jericho because, I think he's the most deserving. He's had the best year since the beginning of 2009.
Yeah, absolutely.
Match-wise, I just think he's been the best they've had in the past year. And I think he's deserving of it. And I think there's stuff that they can do with him if he does win the Rumble, like bring him back to Raw like he wanted to, or some other, something else they can do with him. So my pick would be Jericho, but I'm not lost on the idea of Edge coming back and winning it. That's a dark horse to me.
Yeah, I can't help it. I just feel it.
Yeah, you just feel it right here. It's like, I don't know. I think they may be pulling something.
Yeah.
But that would be my pick, would be Jericho. And that will conclude this episode number 5 of the 10-Minute Marks. We did want to tell you to email us your remarks or leave your comments down there for the show. And future shows will be
Best Feuds of the 90s.
Best Feuds of the 90s.
So be sure to email us and give your opinions before we do our video, hopefully.
Yeah. We'll be doing that in the next week or two. What kind of future would Sting have in the WWE? How successful would he have ever been in the WWE if he ever got his chance? You can email us on that. Give us, if he was in the early 90s, he'd have won the world title, so forth. Whatever.
Also, we'll be doing a Royal Rumble review.
Royal Rumble review. Try saying that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
And email us ideas on the show. Tell us what you want to see. Tell us what you want us to give our opinions on, and we'll see what we can do about doing that.
Email us at 10minutemarks@yahoo.com, or as you said, leave your comments down there. And on that, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we bid you adieu.